Chris T from the Depot here, coming to you with another how-to video in Run 8. Today we're not going to be focusing so much on a prototypical operation and methods for the sim, but today we're going to cover a basic activity you can do in the sim while switching. We are going to kick cars and teach you how to kick cars. I've been getting requests for this one, and I've seen guys say, I can't kick cars or it doesn't work for me and I don't know how to do it. So we're going to go ahead today and teach you how to kick cars. I got a good string of cars here, a couple Jeeps down there. I got a couple cars set up down there. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, before we begin, we have to set our train up to perform the kicking. Right now, the airline has air in it. I'm going to leave up here in the top corner, I'll leave the heads-up display up so you can see what I'm doing with the train as we go about this. Right now, we got everything released, 90 in the reservoir, 90 on the pipe. So we need to bleed the train. Now, you can do this two ways depending on how you need to kick cars. If you just need to kick a couple cars in your consist, you can go up. We'll do this. Let's fly to the rear. And all right, let's just say we want to kick this this boxcar and this Mopac gondola. You can close the angle cock behind the cars you're going to kick. So we'll close this, and then we need to bleed the cars. So we'll bleed that one, and we'll bleed this one. Now these cars have no air in them. When you shove them and pull the cut lever and stop, and they roll away, they will free roll until gravity takes control of them, or they hit something, or whatever. So now they're bled. But for this purpose, especially if you're going to be working a big cut of cars and, in and out kicking and, making multiple moves with a big cut like we're going to do today, you need to bleed the entire cut. So we'll go up to the head end. And you want to close the angle cock on the first engine. Okay. Now, Control F7 will bleed the entire consist behind the engines. So we'll hit Control F7. Everything's bled. If you don't close the angle cock on the engines and then bleed the cars, you'll dump the consist. The whole consist will go in emergency and to recover, start over again. So make sure the first thing you do, grab the angle cock wherever you want to make the cuts from and close it. That's the first thing we'll do. So now we got the train prepped. Let's go back here. See, check our route, and let's see what moves we want to make here. Okay, I've got my route all lined up. We're going to kick down into that red boxcar down there on the third track. So we'll go ahead, we'll come up here and get the consist ready. Now what I like to do, find the cut I'm going to make, I'll find the coupler I'm going to make the cut at. Bring its menu up. Now, what you're going to do is reverse or backward, reverse. We'll release the independent, and we'll bunch them up. Since we're switching cars, you can honestly go right to 8, which is what we'll do in this scenario. This is how I'll do it. We'll go right to 8, and I'll try to get the cut up to about 10 mile an hour or so. So that's a decent speed. I've had a lot of success at 10 mile an hour hitting down there, and I'm going to go over an example of what happens if you kick too hard. You can break knuckles, and then if you're in a server, you could drop the server or corrupt the train. So, you got to be careful doing it. So here's what we'll do. Got it all lined up, released, everything's bled. We'll go right to 8. There's different terms for this. Some guys call giving it a start. Other guys just say shove it, and then they'll stop and kick it. So we'll get to about 10. Throttle neutral to idle, full independent, lift the pin when it's bunched, there it goes. Now they'll roll pretty good. We're here at BNSF Bakersfield. It's been a long time since I've kicked here. It looks like it's downhill, so hopefully they'll roll real good. But as you see, 10 mile an hour is not excessively fast, but you'll need to be a judge of character based on where the cars are at. Like I got these two on the left way back in there. These on the right are kind of close, so fly down here. For those of you who've never kicked before, you can see what happens. They'll just knuckle in like normal. But they'll roll until they come down here. I'm not sure how fast they're going. They might be down about 5 or 6 mile an hour now. And there you go. All together. No harm, no foul on that. They rolled together nicely. So let's go ahead and we'll set another kick up. Alright, this time I got us all lined into the very back track. The ladder's all lined up. Ideally, you don't want to kick more than 4 or 5 cars at a time. Five's pushing it. That's a lot of that's a lot of cars to be cutting away in motion. You know, it's depending on your weights too. I think I got all these cars just set as empty for just the little test here today. But I wouldn't go any more than 5 cars in a cut while you're kicking. You know, when you hump cars in a hump yard, I don't think they do more than 3 car cuts, maybe 4 if the cars are small. In the real world, I think the sim will maybe give you 3 small cars at a time, but 5 can be excessive. So I'd keep it under 4 if I was going to do it. This time around, we'll kick 3. So again, the same process. We'll try to go over it again here. I'll get them bunched up first before I pull the lever. So here we go. We'll go right to 8. Here's the independent release. Right to 8. As soon as they bunch, pull the pin, let them roll. Idle, full independent. There you go. So they'll roll down in that track, and we won't worry about that. Just let them go. Because once you make your cut, you got them down there. They're going into a track with a car. Now, one rule on most class 1s is that when you're kicking cars into a track, you need to have at least one secured car in that track. So you really don't want to be kicking cars into a track without a car already in it. My next demonstration, you can in the sim. It's no big deal in the sim to do so. This cars went down there quick too. I kicked down probably harder than I needed to. So let's see, is that track open? Yes, I did. That's another thing too. When you're kicking cars, and it's no big deal. If you got to pull back, it's no big deal. But try to be mindful of where your next move's going to be. If you set it up right, you make your kick, your cars will stop back this side of the next switch you need to handle. So that way you're setting yourself up constantly. And I do it all the time. I almost always over kick or push beyond my switch. Just just pull down and just reset it. It's no big deal. I've never worried it. But if you're good, if you get good, you could just, you know how much you need to kick it, cut it, and stop before the next switch of your next move. So I got that all lined up. We'll go ahead and cut these 2 off. We'll give them a nice gentle kick. So there we go. Full independent release. Whoop. Click my knuckle. There we go. Got the coupler kicked. Alright, we'll just go about 4. Like I said, I'm not going to kick them very hard. They're bunched. There's the pin. And there's independent. And she's cut. Now we'll let them roll in the track. We'll get them into clear. Like I said, this is what you can do, and they'll stop pretty nicely when you do this. Click the cut while it rolls, and up here it'll say set all handbrakes on this train. So this is what we had to do before the bowl fix. You know, if cars broke away in the bowl and they rolled, you just had to snag these. So it'll roll in here. It's in the clear now. We'll just let it roll down here a couple more cars just to make some room. That's good. And set all handbrakes. And then she stops. Now, that would simulate riding a car and spinning on a handbrake while you're on the car, but it'll set the whole consist up. So now 2 handbrakes are, you know, more powerful than 1, and so on and so forth. So that's the basics there. Now we're going to move on to the next thing, and I'll show you what happens if you kick them just a little too hard. Now, as you can see, these 3 cars made it in here. They didn't break a knuckle when they went in here for whatever reason. I kicked them good too. They were at least 15 mile an hour. You wouldn't kick any more than that. Most yard speeds are 10 mile an hour, so anything over 15, you're already, you're already excessive speed. You're speeding pretty much. So it didn't break them here. I've done it before. I don't know if they were too far back, and I just had them close together. But I've done it. I know I've done it. I've seen myself break knuckles while kicking before, just because I wasn't paying attention. I misjudged it, and I kicked too hard into a track that was right near the end. So I bet if they were closer to the edge of the track, it would break a knuckle. So I tried, and there you have it. That's how you kick cars in Run 8. Got a full yard here. Everything's all distributed, and the power's by itself. So we're finished. Sorry, I couldn't get the knuckle to break to demonstrate that to you guys, but it can happen if you're not careful. Like, it might be a server side thing. Maybe if the server can't handle it being kicked that fast. I'm in single player, so that might play into it a little bit. But it's pretty basic. All you do just get a start, pull the pin when it's bunched, throttle off to idle, full independent, and let them roll. So pretty basic stuff. So we're gonna work on some more things here, get some more videos out to you guys, and got a lot of topics to cover. So take care, have fun out there.